In geography, we use the term region to describe a few different things, one of which an area that has one or a few things in common that makes it different than another area. In this image here, the red circle illustrates a particular region because it has one thing in common. What is that one thing in common? They drink a lot of beer. This is known as the beer belt. So these are all countries that have a high consumption rate of beer. So this is an example of a region based on one criteria, beer. In Indiana, of course, our agricultural dominant crop is corn. And if you ask anyone from outside our state what we're known for, they'll say basketball or maybe the Colts or corn. And that's one thing that makes us unique. And so here, once again, we can use the term region, an area that has something in common but that's different than another region. So continuing with the idea of a region, we're going to look at an area based on weather characteristics that are predictable. And these weather characteristics, once again, our definition of climate is the average weather. We're going to look at various characteristics based on insolation, temperature, pressure, air masses, precipitation, or topography, highland areas. I came across this quote and I found it useful because we've been essentially talking about invisible things for the most part this semester. Things like insolation and the electromagnetic spectrum. But for once, with climate, we can actually see the impact in the type of vegetation that is found underneath the climate region. So climate heavily influences vegetation, which can be observed here when we look at total rainfall on the right and vegetation on the left. You can see a high correlation between places that have high vegetation and high precipitation, and of course areas that have low precipitation having quite dry conditions.